Okay. Hey y'all, what's up? So I'm sitting here waiting for the video that was supposed to drop at 12 o'clock noon today to finish uploading. It is 5 o'clock, but we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. Um, every single time that I would gear up to do what I'm doing right now, I would face opposition like this. And I always saw it as, okay, maybe I shouldn't do it. I would get discouraged and I would just like stop, just quit. Um, that's not a coincidence. We're learning, we're growing. So I'm gonna just push forward. I'm gonna let it finish exporting, and then while it's doing that, I'm gonna work on something else. So I'm gonna talk to you guys about, what's been going on in my life lately, just sharing some things. So I recently decluttered. I decluttered this whole shebang. Okay. When I got to my closet, I found myself like contemplating things that I hadn't worn in 6 months, a year, 2 years, right? But throughout the whole process, I kept reminding myself, like, girl, if you haven't worn it yet, if you haven't worn it in this amount of time, if you bought it and you never wore it, you're not going to wear it. So just go ahead and just let it go. It's fine. Just let it go. You don't need to hold on to this. Sometimes things like that just happen in life. Like, yes, it was decluttering my closet, but it was also me just like thinking about my life, yo. And like, don't get me wrong, everything is not always this deep, but this right here was deep. Sometimes we literally reason with ourselves to hold on to things or people or opportunities, okay, or even pain and hurt. We tend to hold on to these things and we say, I'm going to come back to this. Let me keep this over here because I'm coming back for this. I'm going to come back to deal with this. And it's like, no, let it go. Even holding on to past versions of yourself, holding on to even like your idea of what you thought life was going to be, holding on to old mindsets, old habits. Like, we literally be holding on to stuff. And I don't think that this is a one time lesson. I think this is a continual lesson of life. I think this is actually something that we actually have to like continue to revisit and come back to. Like, declutter every once in a while, detox every once in a while, clear the space every once in a while, and just let these things go. It's not about whether or not these things are serving you. It's more about like outgrowing it. It's more about it's taking up space and you never utilize it. Like, it's not always the thing that's the problem. It's not always the thing or the person that is the problem. Sometimes it's you. Sometimes it's us. And actually letting go of that thing will force us to deal with us. Letting go of the way that we used to be in our minds and our posture in life, unpack us. And I think that maybe that's sometimes why we avoid letting go of things. Some clothes that I was holding on to, I was like, yo, this isn't even my style anymore. I'm not that same person anymore. Let me let it go. Or even, girl, that is not your body anymore. Real talk. Be real with yourself, girl. Let it go. And embrace the new that is you. That's a bar, okay? Um so yeah, that was the thing with my closet. So the thing with my jewelry, I didn't want to declutter my jewelry. I invested in this small business startup jewelry company fairly heavily. I bought a lot of jewelry, necklaces, bracelets, anklets. At some point, the jewelry just started to break and fall apart. And I'm not talking about one piece, I'm talking about every single piece, right? So I had this thought that, okay, like I might have to eventually let this stuff go. But I didn't act on it then. Like, it was just as quick as the thought came, it was out of my mind, okay? So I'm decluttering my closet the same day. One of the anklets that I was wearing literally broke while we were out and about and it fell off my leg. Embarrassing, but I just so happened to catch it. And when I got back home, I just had this nagging feeling that like I needed to let all of that jewelry go, no matter the condition. I needed to let go every single piece of jewelry that I got from that company. Well, I got on Instagram and I saw that the company owner had posted something that just didn't sit right with me, and it clicked. I still wrestled with that a little bit. Like, I don't really want to let it go. Like, that's a good chunk of my jewelry. I don't really want to let that go. But I don't know, man. I can't even explain. But I just had a moment where I was like, let me just do it. I'm gonna just do it. Just do it. Just do it. As I'm going through the jewelry, I'm like, yeah, it's gotta go. It's gotta go. It's gotta go. And I come across my cross necklaces, right? And I was like, contemplating, hmm, it is a cross though. Like, do I have to let it go? And so quickly, the thought crossed my mind, what do you care about more? Do you care more about your idea of the representation? Do you care more about your idea of what this stands for? Or do you care more about being obedient and doing what you know you should be doing? Right? Like, make your choice, make your choice. And I had a moment, or not a moment, but I just made the decision like, nope, what do I care about more? It's got to go. It's got to go, regardless of how much I like it, regardless of what it means to me. Like, I got to let it go. Got to let it go. These heart check moments, I don't think they're a one time thing. I think that they are moments that continue along the journey. Like, we don't get saved and we're automatically perfect. We don't begin reading our Bible and memorizing scripture and we're automatically perfect. We don't um pass one test and automatically reach that final destination of perfection or sanctification. Like, it is a daily journey, it is a continual process. So we have these moments where, like, yes, your heart is checked about a certain situation one time, and okay, good, your heart is checked. But then when you go to another level, your heart may be checked again about that exact same situation. I think that sometimes we get to the point where, like, it's pride, where we say, oh, I've already passed that test, I'll never encounter that test again. Baby, 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 yes you will, yes you will. And it's ultimately up to us whether or not we pass the test or we fail the test, right? Our identity cannot be rooted in anything other than the solid, firm foundation of Jesus Christ, the solid, firm foundation of who God called us to be, who God made us to be. It's also even interesting that it wasn't even a thought for me that, like, no, I can't let this stuff go because my identity is rooted in this. For me, it was just, no, I just really like this. And if I throw away all my anklets, I'm not going to have any more. Not so much my identity, but just like, I like this a lot. But it was a test of obedience. Like, girl, girl, it is a materialistic item. You've been here before. So what's going on? Sometimes we get to the point where we feel like we're the only ones dealing with something, or maybe even like guilt. Like, why am I dealing with this again? And I don't think, like I said, I don't think it's that like you passed the test one time and you never have to face it again. I don't think it's that you learn a lesson one time and you never have to, like, go through something pertaining to that ever again. I think it's more so just like a heart check and like a temperature check to help us to just stay in line, to help us to stay in line. Because what if in that moment I decided that holding on to that jewelry mattered so much more to me? I don't know what would be on the other side of that decision, but I'm so glad that I'm not going to find out because it might not have been anything good, especially if it was an opportunity for me to be obedient. Um, and sometimes, letting these things go is painful. Sometimes letting these things go is harder than you thought it would be. Um, sometimes Sometimes it's not so easy to let go of something. Sometimes you might not even realize how much that thing meant to you until it's time for you to let it go, right? Like I said before, this could be jewelry, this could be people, this could be opportunities, this could be lifestyles, habits, This could be dreams and hopes and plans. Um, this could even be memories and traumas and grief or disappointment or unforgiveness. Like, sometimes we have to check our hearts and search our hearts and see if these things are even in us. There's this song by Trip Lee called Let Go. Man, I love that song. One, because it sounds really good. But two, when you listen to the lyrics, he's saying like, I had all of this stuff mapped out and laid out, but I like God helped me to let it go by breaking my heart. God helped me to let it go by taking it from me even. When I lost my job, 2 years, almost 2 years now, I haven't been working. And in the moment, oh my gosh, it hurt my heart. I was so disappointed. I was so sad. I was so disappointed. I was so hurt because I had done nothing to warrant, being terminated. I did my job well. Like, you never had a problem out of me. Why would you let me go? But even in that moment, like, God reminded me that, well, God let me know, like, I'm doing this for you. Like, I needed your hands to be free for what I'm about to do in your life. And I was like, all right, cool, it's gonna be great, whatever. Things did not go the way I thought they would. But me not working gave me opportunity to focus on my son and to be present with my son in this season of his life, because he really really needs that, and nobody else can do it but me. And so I saw that job as a blessing. So for it to be taken out, I couldn't see the blessing in it in the moment. Now I do. So the song is literally saying, like, I had my plans, I had my hopes, I had my dreams, I had my desires, awards that I wanted, lives that I wanted to live, gifts that God, you never told me that you would give to me. I need help to let these things go because they matter to me. Goals that I set, hopes and dreams that I have, desires that are temporary, and then promises that God never made to us. Now that's one worth unpacking. Sometimes we think we know what we want, we think we know what's best for us, but like a good father, God will literally block that shot. But no, seriously, like, God will literally block these things that we want to come to pass in our lives. He will block these hopes that we have and spare us the heartache and spare us the pain. And while it is painful when these things don't happen, it's painful when we have to let these things go. Imagine how much more painful it would be to hold on to this, because you don't know what's on the other side. I encourage you to give that song a listen. Maybe you need to assess, but also maybe you're in a season where you're dealing with this exact same thing and you're having this tug of war. Like, I should, but I don't want to. I need to, but it's hard. Trying to understand, even sometimes it's not even for you to understand in the moment. Sometimes it's just you got to let it go, or you just have to accept that it's going. Bye bye. Thank y'all for tuning in. It's a wrap. I hope that encouraged you the way that it encouraged me. And until next time, remember, it's a daily journey.